It's time for Recipe of the Day. So I have a brand new recipe up on thecookful.com to tell you about today. And I know I've already mentioned it a few times because I've been developing this one for a while. So I am extra excited to be telling you about it today. This is for my fajita marinade. This makes the most flavorful steak or chicken for your fajitas. It is going to blow your mind. I keep making it because I can't get enough of it. I'm like literally addicted. We had a container of the leftover cooked steak that had been marinated in this in the fridge recently, and like every time I opened the fridge I had to eat a slice of the steak. It is that good. Now, this is not exactly really a marinade. If you've heard me talk about this before, I'm not even that much of a fan of marinades because they tend to only penetrate the outer edge of meat and don't really tenderize as much as people think they do, except if they have a lot of salt in them, in which case, you're right, it's more like a brine, right? And yes, this fajita marinade uses the same technique as my turkey brine, which you know I'm obsessed with. That turkey brine is that flavor bomb slurry where we get out a blender or food processor and add the water and the salt, the basic brine ingredients, and then a bunch of raw, fresh ingredients like onion and garlic and herbs, and then you just blend it all up, and it just is this like slushy slurry of flavor that has that salt in it. So then when you put your meat in there, the brine penetrates right into the meat and carries that flavor with it. And it's just so unbelievable. If you haven't tried this yet, you've got to try it. Either the turkey brine, you can use it on turkey or on chicken breasts. It works on like pork tenderloin, or do this fajita marinade version. So I like to do this with the steak or chicken already cut into slices, and then really it doesn't take very long to penetrate at all, like 30 minutes, and it already has some of the flavor. And then you just pull the meat out of the liquid, pat it dry, and cook it immediately because you've already sliced it, right? Okay, so here is how you make this. You get out your blender or food processor, and to it you are adding a cup of water, the zest and juice of 2 limes, 4 peeled garlic cloves, a half of an onion, 1 jalapeno. Now I'll just say I used a fresh jalapeno and I left the seeds in, so that's a little bit of spiciness. You can instead put several pickled jalapeno rings if you wanted to in there. It's going to be fine. You're going to get a little bit more acidity, but that's going to be great. And then you get the spiciness, which is what we're really after. And then a half cup of fresh cilantro leaves, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and a tablespoon of salt. So the salt is coming from that tablespoon of salt and also from the 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, right? Now, you blend that all up. Just puree it until it's as smooth as you can get it. And then you add your chicken or steak or even shrimp into there, and you're not going to believe it. Okay, in terms of timing, if your steak, if you're using like a skirt steak or something like that, or if you have chicken breasts that haven't been sliced yet, then you want those in there for 3 hours, 8 hours maximum. If you've sliced the steak or sliced the chicken, then really an hour is going to be enough, 2 hours maximum. If you are doing shrimp, I would peel them first because then it's just going to be easier to deal with them after. And they're in there for 30 minutes, 60 minutes maximum. Now, about these maximums, I find that if I leave them in for much longer than that, they get too salty. What does that mean if you want to like marinate the day before or something like that? What I recommend is that you go to that maximum amount of time, whatever it was, and then take it out of the marinade, pat it dry, and then put it in a sealed container in the fridge. And then it's going to stop continuing to intensify to soak up that salt into the meat, but it's going to retain what it already got. So that would be my best recommendation if you did want to do this ahead. Like if you're going to do overnight. So you make up your marinade the night before, you put your meat in it, you go to sleep, it's in there overnight for the 8 hours, like a full skirt steak or flank steak or your chicken breast. Then when you wake up in the morning, get them out of there, pat them dry, put them in the fridge until you need them in the evening to cook dinner. I really, really can't wait for you to try this. It is mind-blowingly good. So much flavor in that meat, and it just takes those fajitas to a whole new level. Or like in a burrito bowl, you can use this. Oh, I really, really can't wait for you to try it. Okay, I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there, or find it in our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/recipeotd. And hey, just a quick note. I'm on a recording hiatus right now, so for the next little while, I'm replaying episodes from the archives, including this one. If you heard me mention a holiday, a season, or something going on in my life that seemed a bit off, that's why. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're enjoying these older episodes. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, cookfor2.us, and from this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.